From using mouse wheel down for walls, mouse wheel up for stairs, earning over $80,000 with these binds, to mastering unusual keys like TYF and V for building winning 3 back-to-back FNC's titles. These are the keybinds, the top 50 Fortnite pros are using right now. By the end of this narration, you will understand what makes them so effective and why each choice is designed for maximum speed and efficiency. Starting with walls, mouse button 5 is the most popular choice among top pros, used by players like Mongrel and Quitxn, because it gives instant thumb access while keeping movement keys free. Q and E are also common wall binds for players who prefer the keyboard hand to stay in a natural resting position for. Floors X leads the charts with players like Booga and Taeyong, choosing it for its proximity to movement keys and ease of rapid placement. E is another option that shows up frequently, allowing pros to switch builds without moving their fingers far. For stairs, mouse button 4 dominates this bind, used by many elite players, including Scented and Reverse, because it allows them to quickly execute 90s tarps and stair rushes without disrupting movement. Roof binds vary more. Left shift is often used by players like Peterbot for its reachability, while C and V appear as alternatives, depending on personal comfort and finger size when it comes to edits. F is overwhelmingly the preferred key across pros, more than half the top 50 players use it because it is naturally positioned and easy to reach. A and G follow behind, giving alternatives for players who need slightly different hand placement or faster access. The scroll wheel has become an unconventional but highly effective tool, with several pros binding scroll wheel up or down to looting or resetting edits. This allows them to cycle items or reset builds instantly, shaving precious milliseconds off their response time. These choices are exemplified by Chimp, who uses mouse wheel down for walls and mouse wheel up for stairs, creating a fluid build pattern that few can match in raw speed and efficiency. Peterbot uses unusual keys like TYF and V, combined with left shift and G to maintain full movement while building, editing, and swapping weapons. His setup looks chaotic to the outside observer, but each key is carefully chosen to optimize his personal rhythm and reflex patterns. This shows that there is no universal keybind for all pros. The data shows only 4% of the top 50 use a similar set like mouse button. 5 for wall, V for floor, mouse button 4 for stairs, left shift for roof, and F for edit, meaning 96% of the best players have entirely unique setups tailored to their own style, comfort, and mechanical preference. Even slight differences like placing edits closer to the thumb or using the scroll wheel to reset builds can create massive advantages in high-pressure endgame situations. The most important concept to understand is efficiency, comfort, and minimizing unnecessary movement. Pros design their keybinds so that each finger has a natural zone and no input requires awkward stretching or repositioning. This is why players like Booga and Quitxn have slightly different setups, yet both can perform edits, builds, and weapon swaps flawlessly at extreme speed. Once you internalize your own optimal keybinds, your hands no longer think. Each input becomes muscle memory and instinct, creating seamless gameplay, where every build fight becomes fluid and controllable. Watching pros like Mongrel, Scented, Chimp, Peterbot, and Booga execute high-level plays highlights how their keybinds map directly to their success. The way they layer walls, ramps, floors, and edits while constantly maintaining awareness of opponents is impossible without precise and comfortable binds that match their reflexes. Keybinds also evolve over time as players adapt to new strategies, weapons, and map layouts. For example, after the introduction of new building meta or edit resets, many pros have changed the location of their floor or edit keys to optimize speed and accuracy. This means that studying pro keybinds is not only about copying keys, but understanding why they choose them and how those choices impact performance in combat. The majority of pros prefer mouse buttons for critical actions like wall and stairs because it keeps fingers on movement, keys free for building, editing, and weapon swaps. Keyboard keys like FAGXCQE are selected for reachability and comfort when chaining multiple actions together. Top players often combine their bindings with quick toggle settings, sensitivity adjustments, and smart DPI mapping to reduce hand strain and maximize speed. This is evident in setups from players like Polarize and Reet, who utilize layered binds that allow them to place multiple builds in sequence without removing fingers from key zones. Even unconventional setups like scroll wheel walls and Stairs are effective because they exploit natural finger movement and leverage muscle memory, allowing players to perform builds and edits faster than traditional binds. Would allow the takeaway from analyzing the top 50 pros is that keybinds are highly personal tools. Each combination is designed to maximize speed, comfort, and reaction time. There is no single correct way to bind keys. The important part is to experiment with layouts that suit your hand size, playstyle, and mechanical preferences. Observe patterns among pros, notice which keys allow for rapid builds, quick edits, and fluid movement, and then adapt those ideas into a setup that becomes instinctive over time. Once your muscle memory takes over, your hands perform automatically, allowing your brain to focus entirely on strategy, positioning, and opponent tracking. Watching videos like the one provided in the link demonstrates the real-time application of these keybinds in live matches. How players transition from floor to wall to edit instantly. While moving in all directions, their builds look seamless because every key is placed for minimal movement and maximum speed. This shows why players like Peterbot, Chimp, Mongrel, Booga, Clicks, and Scented are able to dominate. High-pressure end games, they have optimized their keybinds for total control, rapid response, and consistent execution. By studying the most popular and unconventional binds, pros use beginners, and intermediate players can learn how to structure their own setups. Mouse button 5 for wall, mouse button 4 for stairs, X and C for floor, F for edit, A and G as support keys, and using scroll wheel creatively for resets or item swaps are all ideas that can be adapted to personal preference. Once a player locks in a setup that feels natural, builds become second nature, edits become instant, and reaction time improves drastically, giving them an edge in competitive play. The final lesson is that no bind is inherently better than another. It is about matching keys to your natural movement reflexes and training your hands to respond instinctively. The more your setup aligns with your comfort and efficiency, the faster your gameplay becomes. Every input, every flick, every build placement matters at the top level. So whether you are using standard keys or unconventional layouts, the goal is speed, consistency, and comfort. This is the essence of why the top 50 pros perform so effectively. Their keybinds are not random. They are meticulously chosen based on years of experience, practice, and experimentation. They are a direct extension of their muscle memory and playstyle. The combination of mouse buttons, keyboard keys, and even scroll wheel actions allows for maximum fluidity while minimizing movement and strain. In conclusion, understanding how the best players bind their keys gives insight into the mechanics behind their gameplay. It is not about copying, it is about learning principles of efficiency, comfort, and speed, then applying those principles to your own optimal setup. Once you internalize these lessons, your build's edits and overall performance will become instinctive, giving you a clear path to improve your competitive play dramatically. This is the power behind pro keybinds and why they continue to dominate tournaments and consistently perform at the highest level.